Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell Inspiron 165640. So the customer said after a BIOS update the Wi-Fi stopped working. I have a feeling it's a software issue related to the BIOS chip. So the BIOS update. So I don't think there's going to be anything hardware-wise that can be done here. Maybe if they're lucky, a BIOS update will fix it. But this was purchased from Costco and it's still under warranty, so hopefully they'll be able to get it warranted so that they don't have to pay me to do this. Anyways, we're using a PH0 or JAS0 screwdriver to undo the screws from the bottom. As you can see, that corner screw stays in place. A lot of times with these Dells, these two corner screws stay attached to the bottom cover, and that actually helps you remove the case. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue removing all the screws. You want to keep them in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths, or they can be. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So in this case, we have 1 here, 2 here, and then the 3 at the bottom. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue removing all the screws. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their device as well. Excuse me. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, if you can't help out that way, I have another channel also called It's Been Reviewed and More. If you could like, comment, and subscribe on videos over there, that'll really help me out, and do that on this one. Alright, anyways, now that we got this up, if it's not letting you separate the two pieces, the bottom here and this, you'll want to unscrew it while you're pulling on it, and you can see now we can pull this up and down. Okay, now that you're doing that, you just slide a pry tool. In this case, I just slide my fingernail along the edge like that. We'll go along here. I kind of already popped up some of this, but same thing. While you're pulling up the cover, do that. Okay, and then slide your fingernail or again a pry tool down there. Okay, now we got the sides and the back out. Let's see if the front comes out easily as well. Okay, same thing, and there we go. Came off nice and easy. All right, so there's the bottom cover. It's a little bit dusty. What is that? There's like some of the coppery stuff rubbed off from this. You see that? That's interesting. Or whatever that stuff they spray on the plastic. I don't know. Okay, sorry, I'm lining this up so I can get a good thumbnail here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to just do is disconnect the battery and see if that somehow helps. I kind of doubt it, but we're going to do it anyways. Okay, after that, open up the laptop, press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. Sometimes people ask me if they need to do this. If you don't want to take 15 seconds to do this, I don't recommend you even open your computer. So yeah, 15 seconds, press and hold this. It'll drain power from capacitors and things like that and make it safer to work on, okay? It doesn't mean that there's no way you're going to damage your computer, but it makes it a lot safer. Okay, I'm just going to go over the components in here. I'm not going to be taking things out because, again, this is in warranty from Costco, so I don't want to make anything look like it's been tampered with, and then they can try and void the warranty using that. Usually if you're just upgrading, like the RAM or something, they're not supposed to be able to void warranties for that. But again, it depends, I guess, where you're from, where you have the computer, where you bought it from. I don't know. Laws differ in different places. Okay, anyways, we're going to go ahead and pull the 2 tabs of this away from the stick of RAM, and you can see it pops up. And as you can see, this is DDR5 RAM, 8 gig, PC5, 5600B. So you should be okay with any DDR5 or PC5 5600B RAM. If you want to get 2 16 gig sticks, go for it. I think they have even larger ones. You can probably get up to, I think I saw one person get 96 gigs. It's weird. I didn't know they did weird numbers like that, but yeah, I saw someone get like 2 sticks that were like 40 something gigs to get 96 total. And what is that, 48 gigs each? All right, anyways, fingerprints, reader, power button connectors here. There's a flip latch, so you flip that up, you can pull that cable out. The I/O board connector flip latch here. You can disconnect, so you can remove the USB 3.0 port, headphone jack, or headset jack, whatever you want to call it, and SD card slot. The other end of that cable connects here with the flip latch there. CPU soldered to the motherboard, 4 screws, hold it down. It is soldered to the board, so you can't upgrade it. Also, if you can't count, because some people ask me how many slots of RAM there are, there's 2, okay? I don't think there's anything underneath because there's like no gap there. So yeah, you got a connector here for the fan, right? To get that out, you just go from the wings, wiggle it, and then you should be able to pull it out. It does look like, actually, is it not? Okay, it doesn't look like it's attached to the heatsink, so you can take the fan out and separate it and replace that separately without having to pull the whole heatsink out. If you take the heatsink out, keep in mind that you do need to redo the thermal paste, be it PTM 7950, liquid metal. I don't recommend liquid metal because that's very risky and you can destroy your stuff. All right, but yeah, whatever kind of thermal compound you want to use there, make sure it's actually good for CPUs. Don't use like video GPU thermal pads. That's not what you put under CPU heatsinks. Right, wireless card is right here. I'm going to go ahead and just disconnect it and put it back just in case. We're going to have to switch over to a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. If you're wondering how I know, because the screwdriver, when I like wiggled it a little, it was very wobbly. Okay, you don't want to use the wrong screwdriver because that can actually damage your computer. So I mean the screws. So anyways, we're going to go under here, lift this up slightly, and then we can pull it back just like the RAM. Also like the M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD over there. All right, we're going to get this back in. It has to go in slightly at an angle, and then once you get that, you just drop it back down. I doubt there's any chance that it's hardware related, especially for such a new computer. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be corrosion causing anything. I think it's more something related with the BIOS somehow screwed something up. Anyways, we got that back in. If you're wondering, the wireless antennas, after you remove this metal plate with the screw, you can go from the tail, hold the wireless card down, and then pull it up just like that. Again, I'm not going to mess with it. Sometimes the solder is not good there, and that can break off. You can use a full-size M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD in this slot, but you will want to throw away this metal plate. Basically, there's 3 screws here. Why did I say 6? And then same thing like the wireless card. It pops up slightly at an angle, and you can pull it out. There's a screw on the other side of here holding the SSD to this metal plate, I believe. But again, I'm not going to pull that out. Okay, speaker connector is here. If you're going to disconnect this, if you notice around the outside of this, there's the black area around it. Make sure you're not prying that up. You just want to pry directly underneath here, only on this inner portion. So usually the way I do that is I go from the back and then I just pop it up from there. But again, I'm not going to pull that out because I don't want to risk anything going wrong with this or any kind of noticeable changes inside the computer. Speakers are just held in with these little rubber washers, which have a little hook thing, or whatever you call these. Okay, let me zoom out here. Okay, so these are just hooked in place, so you can actually just lift it out easily and push it back, and they connect to that one connector there. So both sides, this one, same thing. Okay, then you got the keyboard connector here with the flip latch on this side, keyboard backlight connector here on that latch on that side, and then I'm pretty sure this is the touchpad trackpad connector latch on this side. Okay, what else do we got? We got the DC jack charge port connector here. If you're going to remove this, you do have to undo these 2 screws and then basically pull the hinge up. If you can't get underneath and pull this up, you can open the laptop slightly and then close the laptop back down. It will cause a gap to form, and then you can get your finger under there and pull it up easier. Okay, I don't think there's another screw holding down the DC jack, but sometimes there's a screw. Sometimes it's just a little post that goes into a little hole that holds it in place. And the connector for that is here. You would grab this and kind of wiggle and pull it. This also has the wings on it, so you would wiggle this and then pull that out. Okay, then you got the LCD LVDS connector here, touchscreen, whatever, all that goes into here, camera, microphones. So to remove that, you go from here, flip latch, and then you can pull that out. It's very important if you're going to mess with this cable that you do the battery power drain, okay? Don't pull this connector out until you pull the battery out. or disconnect the battery and press and hold the power button. All right. There's a chance you can get away with it, but you don't want to take that risk. Okay. 15 seconds, disconnect the battery, hold the power button. Yeah, it's worth it to not risk damaging this. If you don't, you can damage the backlight circuit, you could damage this connector, you can damage the cable, you can damage the screen. Yeah, this is no fun, okay? And then we got the the battery here. Battery model number is V6W33. So if you need a new battery, that's what it is. I have a feeling no one's going to find this video or watch this video until or not many people will watch this video until several years later to find out how to replace the battery. But anyways, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws there. And if you're trying to figure out how to disconnect this piece, because you're probably going to have to replace that, this has a sliding mechanism. If you see this silver part, pull that back, it slides down, and then you can pull that connector out. You'll have to unroute it from here, obviously, but yeah, anyways, then to put it back, once you push the battery, this black battery connector back in there, the new one, onto the new battery, you slide this thing back. So this has a little lip on it. I'm going to have to put this down to do it, but basically you just use that lip. I use my fingernail and then use that to slide this back over, okay? If you can't do it that way, you can kind of go from behind this. But yeah, you see how it slides? That's basically what we're doing. So it's being a little difficult. Make sure you push the battery down and then slide that, okay? Okay, you can actually do, like, if you saw I did one side first at an angle and then went to the other side. So there you go, it's back in place. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't see anything else in here to go over other than pulling the motherboard out. But again, this computer's in warranty. I don't want to mess with stuff that they can use to say that the warranty is void. So we'll get the battery connector back in, make sure it goes in straight, and then pinch both sides at the same time together to get the battery connector back in. All right, we'll zoom out. Let's go ahead and get the bottom cover back in. And that's pretty much it. Again, I don't think this is going to fix the wireless card issue, but I figured let's go ahead and open it up so I can show you guys what it looks like inside. All right, there we go. So you get the bottom cover on. We'll push down here at the same time we're pushing inwards, okay? That helps get the clip back in. So I push kind of at an angle, just like that. Work our way on the side, same thing, towards the middle and down at the same time. And then we can go ahead and get this in. It's always a good idea. Oops, sorry, switch back to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. It's always a good idea to twist it backwards, hear it click, and then tighten it down. Okay, so tighten the screw in. Good, make sure the clips all go in. Work our way over, same thing, click, and then go ahead and tighten it. And then this clip should go in, you can help push it down. All right, so let's get all the screws back in, and that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. I can't help out that way. Excuse me. It would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Again, I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. Same profile picture, but zoomed in because it's a close look at things. And yeah, currently I am posting those review videos on this channel as well, but eventually in the future, they're only going to be on that channel. So yeah, if you want to help me out for helping you out, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe and yeah, watch some of those videos. Okay, anyways, if you don't want to watch them, if you can even just let them play in the background with them sound off or whatever, that'll help me out. Anyways, there you go. That's pretty much it. Also, one thing to take note of, the main battery acts as the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. So I press the power button. If you notice, the caps lock light is on, but the screen isn't on. That's normal. Give it some time, okay? So if your computer's not turning on after you disconnected the battery, that is normal. Just be patient. If for some reason it still doesn't turn back on, double check. Make sure this light is off before you open it up and take it out again. You can hold the power button to shut it off, but give this at least 5 minutes, okay? If it doesn't come back on, then you can open it back up, double check the RAM, if you replace the RAM, try putting the old RAM back if the new RAM isn't working, and then yeah, power back up and see if it works. So yeah, we're gonna leave this for a bit longer. Hopefully I didn't cause anything to go weird, but usually when you disconnect the battery, especially after doing the power drain, it's going to take a while to boot up because it acts as a BIOS CMOS RTC real-time clock reset. So the lights are still on. I haven't seen any change yet. Usually the keyboard will shut off and turn back on. I can actually see the keyboard backlight is on. Oh, and there you go. So yeah, again, give it time, be patient, don't panic. Give it at least 5-10 minutes if you're not sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you had any weird custom BIOS settings that you changed, you want to double check that, make sure, because when you disconnect the battery again, it does reset to factory default. And also you want to change the date and time back. All right, so you can see this is a Dell Inspiron 165640 as mentioned earlier. Okay, anyways, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye. All right, so I cleaned the fan as well, and actually the Wi-Fi ended up working, so that's good.